Hey guys, long time no see, kind of, sort of. This video is actually pretty on point. I mean, I kind of wanted to actually make it sooner, but like, I had a lot going on. I've been working a lot. I took a job at an Amazon fulfillment center and we got stuck with like a bunch of mandatory overtime during the Prime Day event. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely took advantage of the Prime Day sales. I've also taken advantage of in-store sales, like clearance sales at both Walmart and Target following that. Up until just the other day, I was like $20 deep in my needs to be unboxed pile, and I still have two more dolls coming in from Amazon today, and another two coming in, I think over like some point in time this week that I just ordered today. I think one is tomorrow and one's a little later on. I took advantage of all these sales. I finished up my mermaids like collection. I have all of those now. And since they're apparently not making any more, the line was, from what we've heard, canceled. I don't have to worry about buying any more of those. I can just call that one complete. I've also picked up a couple of the Barbie extras. I still have a few more that I need. Um, and then I've caught up with some LOL OMGs. Obviously, I'm still a little behind on those, but I'm getting there. I picked up quite a few rainbow high dolls that I needed to kind of fill in my collection, just from like some little gaps I've had, because I like to have at least two of each. But like, it's very hard to keep up when you get busy, and like, I really hate when the unboxing pile kind of starts to pile up because these dolls take a lot of energy to unbox. I don't know if I'm like the only person who has as much trouble as I do trying to make myself motivated to unbox them. I know a lot of you guys have also said that like it just really wears you out. And that's kind of where I am with this. Like, it just makes me really tired to have to sit there and unbox them all. It produces a massive amount of waste. So I kind of try to like to do it on Wednesdays because Thursdays like our trash day when our trash man comes. So this way, like, it's out on the curb, or the stuff that can be recycled is out in the recycling bin, whatever. Apparently my dog sees something in the yard and she's fussing about it. But anyway, so that's definitely a thing. And while I was picking up on all of these sales, because there were a lot of them, I mean, Target had the what are they called, Rainbow Vision dolls for like $11.99, and honestly, had they had more Tiara, I probably would have stocked up on a couple more of her. But I did get the Maline that I needed and Aisha that I needed, just like a couple more things to just kind of fill in. So during all of this, well, I've spent so much on dolls the last couple of weeks, but I've also been making money, so I guess it evens out. I also picked up these guys, the Color and Create dolls. You guys, since these first leaked, back when we thought they were going to be dye and not markers, since they very first leaked, you guys have been sending me tons of comments and messages about how you really feel like these dolls were made for me. You can't wait to see what I do with them. You felt they were inspired by me and my work dyeing, which honestly, there's so many great dyers now that's very hard to say. But yeah, so like I knew I had to do something with them. I really want to try some different techniques that I don't know if they'll work or not. So that's a thing. I guess we're gonna find out. But really quickly, we're gonna open them. I'm gonna show them to you guys and talk about what all they come with. I think it's pretty fair to say the markers are gonna be cast aside, and I feel kind of like I hate paying as much for them because I know I'm paying for markers that I'm never ever gonna use. But it is what it is. Really quickly, in case you guys haven't seen them, I'm sure you have, they've been everywhere. There are three of them. We've got this girl with the green eyes and straight center part hair. And I love their clothes. I mean, if you guys if you've been on the internet at all, on Instagram, on the Facebook groups, on YouTube, the markers work. We've seen the markers work. They work really well. They wash out really easily. They seem like they're really good about that. I definitely want to get more of these girls. I want to keep some of the clothes white, but for this, we're going to be dyeing everything that we can possibly dye. The shoes are kind of iffy when it comes to dyeing. A lot of them will take dye. Some of them you have to use Dye Mar for, which does stain in the long run. Even using the regular dyes, because it's plastic and it doesn't hold the dye as well as a fabric, rubbing up against their foot over time, it can stain. So I'd rather not dye the shoes because I feel like that's just one of those things where it's just going to be more trouble in the long run. But we will dye the clothes, we will dye the hair. For this girl particularly, I think what I would like to do, especially since her hair is pretty straight, I'd like to give her some bangs. I'd like to give her a cut. Um, I'm not. Bangs are such a hard thing, you guys. But the look I want to have for her is really that. Man, I'm not sure if it's her or the next one I'm going to show you, but I'd really love to do one of them in that classic, like 2007 kind of like emo scene hair where it's like long bangs and you know like all the colors, and we'd put like the extensions in that had like the raccoon tail stripes. I'm not 100% sure if it'll work, but I'd love to try it if possible. All right. This one is one that's kind of my favorite. Like, I love her soft side part, gentle waves. It is the classic rainbow high hairdo that almost every doll falls into. I know, but I still really love it. Um, I would like to do a very gentle gray on her hair, and then at the bottoms have like rainbow striped ends. So then, like, you know, you'd have yellow and the green and the blue, purple, red, whatever, just on the ends, and then have the rest of it be light gray. I don't know how that's gonna work. She has a really soft face. I love that they have these very like neutral makeup, soft faces. This one is everybody's favorite, I'm pretty sure. She's got the cute freckles. She's got that good Nicole face mold, curly hair. Um, for her, okay, so Rainbow High posted a picture where they had her colored with the markers. A lot of people thought it was edited. I'm not going to say what I think as a photographer. I'm just going to say that some adjustments may have been made. For her hair, I'd actually like to do something cuter though. Like I'd actually said, you know, I might just do what Rainbow High did just to show how it would look. But like I kind of feel like she deserves better than that. No offense to Rainbow High. I have like a billion dolls with rainbow hair. So it would definitely be another hair painting thing. It's like real true holographic hair. So if you've ever seen anybody do it with hair dye, like they paint it on in layers with foils in between it. I Rit dye doesn't really work as well without water from what I've read, but I've never actually tried it either. And since we're going for something pastel that doesn't need to be super dark, I might try it without water, and then if that doesn't work, go back and try it in like just like hot tap water and paint it on. I feel like it's going to be a complicated, lengthy process, so I ask that you bear with me through that. But I'm just terribly curious as if it'll work on their hair without water or just as painted in general. All right, let's go ahead and open them up, look at the boxes, look at what's inside, what they come with, and then we're going to get to dyeing them. Let's start with the most obvious thing that you guys are going to notice about these three girls, and that is their lack of name. They are basically nameless blank palettes for your expression. Some folks have been naming them, you know, after what colors they are after they color them or dye them. Some folks have been naming them after colors that mean white or, you know, snow or ice or that kind of thing. Some folks have just been foregoing names altogether because they don't feel like they need them. I was in kind of the second group. I named them after things that basically mean white or snow. So, for instance, this girl here, I named her Yuki because it means snow in Japanese. And then, of course, we have Bianca, which means white in like Spanish. And then here we have Whitney, which means white. I won't lie, I debated on both Candace and Blanche for her as well, but I felt like she gave that Whitney vibe. So there's that. Anyway, looking at their boxes, I will say one of the really cool things is that it doesn't waste as much plastic as some of the other boxes do. Like, they kept it kind of compact. The markers are just kind of going to the side. Like, they do have some examples of how they've colored her, and each girl has different colors on her. Alright, let's see if I can do this without as much glare. Alright, here is the side of her box, where they've gone with some blue and red and yellow and a little bit of green in her hair tie. And here she is on the back of the box, where they just went like full rainbow. They gave her some cool flame shoes. I mean, I think that the possibilities are really endless, and I could see children definitely enjoying these. I think they'd be really fun for kids. I was kind of worried about how her hair would color, because it's very hard to color curls, but you know, I mean, if it's little kids, I don't think they're gonna care. I think they're just gonna have fun making marks and trying things. They gave her some cool, like, little flower looking shoes. I think that she is, I know, everybody's favorite, but I do think the blue-eyed one is probably mine. I am happy to see Nicole's face sculpt being used again, though. I just want to get that out there. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. This is not my favorite face sculpt. I feel like the eyes are sitting way too low and kind of far apart, mostly too low. I know that this is Simone's face sculpt too, and it's just not my favorite. It looks better with bangs, but it's not like the greatest. But hopefully I can make something out of her that will make me love her and treasure her forever. She's got some little rainbow and heart shoes. I do like all the white stuff. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to keeping some white clothes, keeping some stuff in very base colors that are very easy to use and mix and match easier. Alright, you guys, let's start opening them. I am going to start with everybody's favorite girl right here, Bianca. Definitely in the comments, drop your names that you've picked for them, because I'm really curious to see what everybody has named them. But I'm going to start with Bianca and open her up. Okay, so really quickly, she had the 2 tabs of tape on each side and 2 on the bottom. When you open up this back flap, you will find this. It's got little cardboard cutouts for each shirt and the pants that you can slide in. It helps just kind of make them more solid. It keeps the marker from leaking through from one side to the other, and just makes the clothes a little more stiff so they're easier to draw on as well. So make sure that you get those out of your box. Don't throw them away in case you need them if you're going to be using your markers. That could be really helpful. Alright, next up, I'm just going to turn her around. Okay, so you pretty much saw this when I was showing you the box, but she comes with a short t-shirt, a long one, a pair of jeans, a pair of heels, and a pair of sneakers, and a hair scrunchie. And then she comes with 6 markers that are all like the rainbow color, like the predominant rainbow colors. Honestly, I'm kind of sad there's not like a black marker or pink marker, since those are some of my favorite colors, but it's all good. She's strapped in here with plastic that we don't normally see on our dolls, just because it's to show that you can do prints and stuff on there. This is just a little sticker that comes right off the shirt, and then the rest of it is just plastic we're going to cut away right quick. So let's go ahead and cut all 3 girls out, since they all come with the same stuff. They all come with the same 2 shirts, hair tie, 2 pairs of shoes and pants, and everything's exactly the same in each box, minus the doll itself. Okay, so I've got everybody unboxed. I only took 1 set of markers out. I'm not going to throw them away, per se, with all the markers, but I probably will just kind of put them aside somewhere. I still had to clip all the box backs, because I do collect those. And I should have mentioned that Pigtail Girl also comes with 2 hair ties instead of just 1. Otherwise, everything they come with is pretty much the same. I don't really know what I'm going to do about the clothes for right now. I haven't given it as much thought as I probably should have. I guess it really kind of depends on how their hair comes out, because I'd like for them to have some clothes that kind of go with their hair, but I also really enjoy just having like plain looking clothes, you know? Like, I feel like we don't have enough stuff that's just plain. So I also need to look at the other dolls that I have and see like who really needs something in their color, because that could make a difference. But I'm just going to leave the shoes white because, like I said, dyeing it is just kind of iffy. Now, so what I can say about all the girls is that they don't really seem to have gel in their hair. I mean, there is some light gel in her curls. I feel like a tiny bit of crunch. She's got a tiny bit, but it's just on this top layer. The rest of the hair doesn't have it. It's like one sheet each. I wish they wouldn't use the gel at all. I mean, I know we're going to get their hair wet. We're going to wash it anyway. This girl has like the teeniest bit in the very end of her curls. But yeah, like I know we're going to wash their hair either way. I just really hate the gel. I hate having to wash their hair. I don't know if their hair being wet affects how the markers go in it. We also haven't seen what the long-term effect of the markers will be. You know, yes, they tend to wash out right away so far, but what happens when you've left the markers in their hair or on their clothes for, you know, a week or a month or 6 months? Does it still wash out? So we still have all those long-term questions. They do come with combs. They don't come with stands, which has disappointed many a collector and fan, because if you're the kind of person who displays them on stands, you're kind of out of luck, honestly. Like, you basically have to go and like buy some additional stands like on Mercari or eBay or whatever. Or, I mean, cause I'm trying to think of who else has a white stand. I know original Amaya did, but hers had the chunky waist clip and not like the new smaller ones. So not everybody's a fan of those. So I'm not even sure what stand you would get for them if you wanted something that matched. If you guys know who else has a white stand in the newer styles, go ahead and drop that in the comments because it might help a lot of people. I don't use stands, so it's not a big deal for me, but it is something to consider. Alright, I'm going to undress these ladies and we're going to get ready to go dye them. Okay, guys, I'm going to start with our curly haired girl first. So I'm going to do her roots in a little bit of the Hyacinth Rit All-Purpose dye. I just want to go ahead and get this out there with her. I could find one paintbrush in my entire house, which I don't know how because I'm typically a painter, but this is the only one I could locate. It should work well enough. We're going to try to paint the other colors into a strand of her hair, do like a test strand in the back, see if it works. I just want to say now that everything I read online says that it doesn't work. Rit only works when activated by hot water. I have splashed it out of the bottle on my clothes, on my counter, on my hand, and they all beg to differ. So we're gonna see. I can't say for sure if it'll work, but we're gonna see. Alright, we are gonna start by pouring literally just a very tiny bit. We want this hair color very, very, very light. We're going to start with the top of her head and just see how this takes. We want it to be a really, really pale purple. We don't want it too light though. We want it to be like noticeably purple. Alright, we're not getting much right now, so we're going to add a little bit more. And this is what I do. I just keep kind of adding small amounts when I'm trying to either do light colors or if I'm trying to neutralize something, because if you add too much you can't take it away. You can always add more, you can't really take it away. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of her curls because this color seems to be just right, and then hope that the stuff we're painting on directly over it works out. Alright, we're looking good. You have to remember that it is going to dye lighter, or dry lighter than whatever it dyes. That's kind of important. Because a lot of times you'll be like, okay, perfect color, and then it dries, and you're like, where did the color go? Why is it not visible? And with her curls, you always want to make sure that you're kind of scrunching them. when you wring the water out, just to keep that curl in there. Especially when you're boiling, this is really hard because a lot of times the curl will come out. You can't really scrunch boiled water out without hurting yourself, so I would wait until you've got it a little bit dry and then scrunch as like it's starting to cool off and all that. That seems like an obvious one, but you'd be surprised. Alright. We've got a very nice light kind of periwinkle color. I hate wasting dye because it does get kind of expensive, so I try to make sure that I was supposed to do her clothes in that color. You guys, I swear. Okay, we're gonna run a little more right quick for her clothing. I swear, sometimes my brain basically says, like, if it's not directly in front of our face, it doesn't matter. Get these bad boys in there. And I put less dye for these. Honestly, it's probably good that I ran the other out. Just because this cotton will take the dye stronger than the nylon that their hair is. So it will dry a bit darker. I can put a little more in. You always want to make sure to stir really well when you have your clothes in the dye so that you don't get any streaks or spotting. And then again, just add a little bit at a time until you get the color that you want. Alright, it is pretty close to her hair color. Just gonna go a little heavier. Okay. Shirt looks good. Now the pants and the shirt will also dye at different rates because they're different fabrics usually. It's kind of hard to tell with these, honestly, just because I don't know if they're a special fabric made to resist the marker. Again, they will dry slightly lighter, so keep that in mind. About the same color. Alright, now we're going to rinse it all out. Okay, you guys, not so funny story. I always put a little bit of dish soap and some cold water to rinse the clothes, make sure there's no excess dye. I mean, there's still some left in the jeans, but it pretty much washed out of the t-shirt. So not only do the markers wash out, but you run the risk of the dye washing out too. I'm not sure. I guess because they're a light enough color, I'm going to go ahead and re-dye them since they're not likely to stain the skin. But it's just something to consider if you're going to do darker colors, is that it may transfer onto the skin since the clothes don't tend to hold the dye very well for whatever reason. I guess just because of maybe they're made of a fabric that's meant to repel the marker, it also repelled the dye. So yeah, that's interesting. Alright, so we're about to see if the hair painting works. I've got my paintbrush. I put each one of the colors I want to use, I put like a tiny amount in the lids. The colors we will be using for this are aquamarine, neon green, we'll be using some golden yellow, and a bit of coral. And what we're going to do as far as doing a test dye is we're going to go and we're going to divide her hair up, and we're just going to take a random curl from the back center of her head, like underneath everything else, or if we had to cut it out, it wouldn't be missing noticeably. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully it's not a waste, we don't have to cut it out, but if we did, we want to know that it's not that bad. So this curl is approximately 5, it looks like 5 plugs thick, and I'm just going to start with the blue, and in order I'm going to touch each color to her hair. It says you have to have hot water to activate these for them to stain properly, at least for clothes. I don't know what that would mean for what we're doing here. It seems to be doing stuff. It does spread quite a bit, so the spreading is something, if you only wanted a very small area, that you might have to kind of watch out for. Coral doesn't really seem to be doing as much as the other colors, and it might be because I had a lot less of them in the bottle, so it's more like undiluted whatever, but you can see we've got it painted on. So we're gonna rinse it out and see what it does, if anything. Now mind you, I didn't leave that on there any length of time at all, but there is a little bit of staining, mostly with the blue. So I'm going to go back over them, and I'm going to do just random curls throughout her head this way, and try to keep them all about at the same level, in terms of like, you know what, I don't know how to explain it, but like, yeah, like all the blues within the same length, etc. And this is going to take a while, so I'm going to do this and then be right back with you guys. Okay guys, so because the holographic hair look is supposed to be super, super light, the hair painting worked amazing. You can see the colors, but they're still very, very pale. I am going to redo the tips a little more hyacinth, just because the orange and yellow, as they kind of ran down the hair and spread, kind of neutralized it. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the curls I want to do, and then I'll show you the results. Okay guys, so you can see the very light hints of the aqua and the green. The orange I got a little dark in some spots by accident, but like it is what it is, or the coral, I guess. And you can even see the yellow. The hair is more lavender, whereas the outfit turned a bit more lilac, even using the same dye, just because of different fabrics. Whatever, I've got a billion other things I can dress her in. I'd done holographic hair before on Natasha, but never on hair this curly, and never painting it in the way I did. So it is a lot lighter this way, and I guess, like, see, it's a little dark right there, but the longer you leave it on, the darker it gets. So these, I started at the bottom and worked my way up, whereas some of the other ones in the front, I started at the top and worked my way down. So you can kind of tell that. But I won't really know how it looks until she's good and dry, if it's going to be visible enough, etc. So we're going to let her dry, and we're going to work on the next girl. Alright you guys, I took an ice cream break, and I'm back to do the second doll. I've already got my hot water ran. I am out of pearl gray. I am out of charcoal gray. I am out of all the grays. Pearl gray would have been ideal. I'm going to use a drop or two of black. Now, this could mess up the entire doll, because Rit Black is very heavily green based, as are its brown, camel, tan. I mean, the only one of the darker colors that or darker neutrals that isn't heavily green based is the chocolate brown, which is heavily red based. But I'm gonna put a drop or two of this in, and then we're gonna pray that this doesn't mess everything up and turn it all green. Okay, looking at it, it looks mighty green. Take a drop or two of this petal pink and see if that doesn't counteract a little of the green. And I mean, like, literally like a drop or two, because I don't want a pink shirt. I'm gonna mix it together again, because I can tell you now, from that drop of black, I could see the green swirls coming off of it. I guess I'm gonna try the shirt and pants first and see if they come out gray. I didn't use a lot of dye, so I may have to leave them in there for a few minutes. But for the rest of the colors on this one, whatever shall be, shall be. But I did pull out the pans, because we will be boiling everything else from here on out. Okay, they're turning gray. It's kind of working. I might just need to leave them in there for quite a while, because like you saw with the other ones, I pulled them out and they still looked like almost barely purple, but they actually got darker as they dried. So again, I'm not sure if it's whatever these are made of, you know, because they're meant to take that marker as well as wash it out really easily. They seem like they're made out of the normal fabrics. They really do. Like, I don't know what's different or special about them outside of them being white, really. Okay, so we're getting gray, but it's very, very pale still. I'm gonna pull these out. I'm gonna do a little bit more of the black, a little bit more of the petal pink. Now we're getting gray. And we want to keep this a pretty light gray. Let's take it out and see what we got. Alright, they're pretty good in gray. I'm going to rinse them out on this other side. And I'm gonna set them aside and wait until see what they dry as. For this, her hair is going to be completely gray because the other colors will be covering the ends and they'll be boiled, so they should be strong enough that it won't matter. Okay, so it was a darker gray than I expected, but I also know that it will dry lighter. But it is an even gray, a nice gray. It's not green, it's not a really pink, it's perfect. I'm perfectly pleased with it. I'm going to lay her aside for right now until I get the boiling colors ready, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, I've got my pots going. I've got a pot of red to start with because I'm going to start the red on my gray haired girl at the bottom and then work around to whatever color. I think it's blue on the other side. I'm also going to do some red streaks in the scene girl's hair, and then I scooped a pot of that black with a bit of pink in it that we had in the sink into this other pot, and for that we're going to do the scene girl's hair in the back. So here is that black and pink mix boiling as well. I am going to get ready to dip them and we'll see how it goes. So the red ends for that came out super lovely. I am going to move this girl so I don't get anything on her. Come over here and rinse the red out. So it's really vibrant. I actually used 1 part scarlet and 2 parts cherry red for this one. Yeah, so it's 1 part scarlet, 2 parts cherry red, and let's see what we got. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see in this light, but I'm going to set her aside until we're ready to do the next color. And I'm going to go ahead and take Scene Hair Girl and start taking out just some little strips that I would like to see red. Now, the majority in her color hair that she's going to have is black in the back, but she'll have like some rainbow sections in the front as well as some more black. So we're not going to do too many sections red, maybe 1 or 2. And we're not going to take it all the way up. We're going to leave her roots black. That way we don't get too much stuff on other hair, etc., etc. This would make excellent if you were going to do a candy cane girl for Christmas. This red is so pretty. Alright, we're going to set her aside now. And we're going to dump the red because we're done with it. Unless you want to do her clothes in it, that is up to you. I'm going to do mine with fuchsia, so I probably dumped out way more dye than I actually needed to boil in the first place. We're going to do a lot less this time. I'm just throwing some sunshine orange. And take this to boil. Okay guys, I've got orange boil, but my phone's about to die. So just so you know, I'm going to finish up the gray girl's hair with golden yellow, Kelly green, evening blue, and then a regular dose of purple. And I'm probably going to do strips of most all of these, except I'm probably going to use neon green, but and aqua instead of Kelly and evening. I'm going to go ahead and do strips of Scene Girl's hair, and then I'll get right back to you guys, okay? Okay, guys, not the best lighting right now, but here's where we're at so far. Everybody is still wet. Well, Ms. Holographic Hair here, she is dry. The clothes that were supposed to come out gray came out closer to her hair. The stuff that was supposed to come out close to her hair came out lavender. And this shirt sat in cherry red forever to just get pink. Now, as far as our gray girl, her rainbow tips turned out beautifully, really vibrant. The yellow covered that gray so well. I really didn't expect it to. I wasn't really sure how it would come out, honestly, like if it would come out as clean as it did. Obviously, they need their hair brushed and styled still. These I left in black for probably an hour or more. They did not go black. So, you know, it's just like that sometimes. I could probably use a fixative before I rinse them, but I keep forgetting to actually buy some because I suck. All right, ready to see what we're still working on? All right, so here she is. She's got all of her rainbow stripes in. I did a test with the black to see how black it was coming out and if I needed to add more red, more green, whatever. It looks pretty black. I mean, I know it's hard to tell because it's very shiny right now, but basically anything that is currently white is about to go black. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right quick by just dipping into a hot pot of black mixed with some cherry red to tone down that green and to see how it comes out, and then we can be finished up for the day. Well, minus drying and brushing and styling and dressing and all that. Okay, you guys, it got black finally. I mean, I had to add a lot of red, like a lot, but it's nice pure black, no green, black roots, plenty of rainbow striping. I cannot wait for them to dry. Then we'll see what we're gonna do about haircuts, etc. Okay, let's go dry them. Alright, so everyone is nice and dried. I haven't styled them, I haven't changed their outfits or done anything like that yet. I'm going to show you guys the initial results and talk about that. I don't even know who to start with. I guess I'll start with the easiest one to do. Okay, so first up is Whitney with the gray hair. The gray came out beautifully, which I guess proves that if you mix a tiny bit of black and a little bit of pastel pink, you can get a really beautiful shade of gray. As you can see, and her hair is not all the way dry yet, mind you, it's just getting kind of late. The purple and the blue both came out really well. The green came out really nicely. The yellow came out so much better than expected, especially over top of the gray. And then, of course, we have the orange and the red. So I'm gonna put some waves in her hair. It dried really, really straight. And it's my fault because I didn't scrunch it when I laid her out to dry. I was in a hurry because it was very close to time for Bear to come home. Let me tell you guys, no matter what time I start, every project I do is really, really just obviously more ambitious than the amount of time I have. So I always end up in a rush to finish them. Okay, so her top and jeans, I left these in black for probably like 30 minutes each. And that was like a black and red blend, and this is as dark as they got. And I mean, the t-shirts at least are definitely cotton, so I don't know what happened there, but they did not go black. They're obviously a darker gray than her hair, but that's about as good as it got. And these are not going to be their final outfits. Obviously, I'll be able to dress them once I have a day where I've got plenty of time to just kind of sit down with them. But I just want to show you their hair thus far. Obviously, you know, I'm going to do more styling, more everything. But for now, this will have to do. Now, for Yuki, I really want to give her scene girl hair. I do want to do, like, you know, a nice style, a cut. I want to give her those kind of, like, edgy scene girl bangs. I'm not exactly sure I'll be able to do it with her hair rooted as it is. So that's a thing. I also want to go in and do like the little raccoon tail stripes. I was having so much trouble with the black that I genuinely just completely forgot to do them. Her shirt was actually boiled in cherry red and fuchsia mixed, and this is as dark as it got. Whatever the thing, these clothes really aren't taking the dye that well. Her pants were supposed to be the curly haired girls. They came out more of a lilac than the lavender I was going for, which surprised me that they ended up darker somehow, which is funny because for her, I actually, she ended up in the light gray clothes that are supposed to be for the other girl, but they ended up, like, they have more of a, I don't know, I guess in this light, in the yellow light in here, they look more gray, but in the natural light, they have more of a lavender tint to them. As far as the holographic hair, it really didn't come out that differently. Sorry, I had her laid down, so now her curls are messy. But it didn't come out that differently than the Natasha I did that had the same thing. Except for with her, I dip dyed her pieces instead of brush painting them. So I don't think, because of how the dye, like being wet, how it spreads, I don't think it made enough of a difference to really bother with it again, unless I was doing it on like on flocking, maybe, like if I were doing like a shaved head look. But as for the long hair, I don't think it does enough to warrant the amount of time it takes. I don't know if I love her hair because it is similar to the other Natasha, and her eyes are so rich in color that the hair is just kind of pale and blah. So if anything, I might actually go back and do something different with her hair. I've been wanting to try tie-dye hair, which seems really complicated on dolls, because their hair takes dye differently than a human's would. But as far as dyeing them goes, I had a lot of fun. It was cool to try new things. I feel like I didn't really try anything new. I mean, other than making gray out of colors that aren't gray, I just kind of feel like, well, I mean, we tried the brush painting thing, and as you can see, like, it does work. The colors are there, but obviously they're a lot paler. I mean, I could have left them in longer. I'm the one who chose not to, because I was going for a pastel. But like the brush painting, if the dye didn't spread as much, it does actually dye their hair without water, but if it didn't spread as much, it might have been considered more successful. In the end though, it just was something that took longer than what I could have done without it. So I don't know about you guys. Do you have a favorite? Which one do you like best out of them? I'm gonna have to say that Whitney is still my favorite. I love Yuki and Bianca as well, but I would probably wear this hair on myself. Definitely, absolutely would do this hair on myself. So I'm gonna say it's my favorite for today. Okay, you guys, I didn't want to leave this video off where I was originally going to leave it off because I just didn't feel right about posting an unfinished video. So first of all, I think she turned out cute. Sorry, I don't have my lights out or anything else. I'm just kind of doing this after some doctor's appointments just really quickly. I think that her hair turning out, you know, to do the colors of the holographic hair like they do on humans, it turned out really pretty. It came out what I would have expected, but knowing I have a Natasha that looks very similar means that this girl deserves better. Also, with her eyes being so vibrant, I felt like her hair being pale just really just isn't it, you know? Like, I want her hair to be as vibrant. So what we're about to do is some really weird stuff. I don't have my tripod out, so I have to set my phone down long enough to do this and then show you what I did afterwards. But we're going to start by dividing her hair into 4 quadrants. We're going to divide it half this way and then half through the middle that way. So it'll be 1, 2, and then in the back 3 and 4 tied up knots. So let me do that right quick so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've made 4 little buns. And I wrapped several rubber bands around each to try and kind of keep them as wrapped up as possible. And we're about to do what I guess would be akin to tie-dye hair, except for unlike t-shirts, we can't just twist the hair around. I mean, I guess we kind of are. And unlike human hair, we wouldn't just straighten it, lay it out flat, and then dye it, because her hair is going to take the dye differently than if we were to paint it on like a human's hair, since it's not human hair dye. So we're going to heat up the colors we need 2 at a time. I'm going to start with yellow and orange and work my way to the darker colors of the rainbow. And then we'll be slowly applying drips of it to her hair. And hopefully when we untie it, it'll kind of look like tie-dye hair and not just a huge honking mess, which I'm kind of nervous about because the potential is there for it to just look like rainbow vomit. Yeah. All right, let's heat up some dye. Okay, you guys, so I've soaked her hair. I've got it really good and wet. I tried to soak it all the way through. I've got myself an old spoon because we're going to spoon the dye on in very, very small amounts. And I've started by heating the dyes. We're going to be using golden yellow and sunshine orange to start. I've got them boiling. Now, I didn't put very much in the pot. Yeah, so there's not very much dye in there. We are gonna go ahead and check and see if it's hot enough to start coloring. Alright, you guys, so keeping her over the sink so that it doesn't stain anything else, and preferably not her, we are gonna very carefully take a little bit of yellow and we're just gonna pour it in some random spots. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna do a little bit of this. Obviously I need my hands free, and then I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. Alright, you guys, so here's the yellow, and you can tell like it kind of soaks through. So again, I don't know, this could come out terrible, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the orange now, but again, just spooning very small amounts next to the yellow on each side. We're gonna try to do kind of rainbow swirls and see how that goes. I've already got the red heating up now that I'm done with the yellow. And then when I'm done with the orange, I will start on heating up the purple. Alright, so you can see the yellow and the orange. Again, I don't know how they're spreading on the inside. I am not rinsing these out in between either. I'm letting them sit as long as possible in hopes that they will be as vibrant as possible. The next two colors are cherry red and purple. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on those. Okay, you guys, for the last two colors, I used evening blue and emerald, mostly because I was out of any other green and didn't realize it. I had like a little bit of Kelly left, but it wasn't enough to make a difference. So after all the dyeing, this is what we're looking at. Now, this could come out super cool tie-dye, or it could come out Series 2 Amaya. It's very hard to tell. You know, but we're gonna rinse this with cold water, and then we're gonna dry it like this without taking the rubber bands out, which means it might take a little longer simply because, you know, we're drying it and it's really, really thick. We might be able to dry it with the rubber bands out, actually, because I don't know if I'd want to dry it with them in. A, because you're heating the plastic of them and against our hair, and B, because it could cause our hair to dry in some very strange curl pattern. So yeah, I guess we'll rinse it, take the rubber bands out, and then blow dry it. Okay, you guys, so I rinsed her really good. I'm gonna start taking out the rubber bands, and I guess we'll see what we have. I feel like because this is a liquid dye, it's not gonna be like tie-dye where the rubber bands keep it from touching what's underneath, because it spreads. Okay, I still see some white. I see we got some stuff going on. Okay, you guys, it might actually be tie-dye hair. All right, I'm gonna take the rest of them out, kind of straighten her curls up before I blow dry her so they don't blow dry funky. Give me just a minute. Okay, you guys, so here's what we're looking at wet. Okay, you guys, I used a little bit of this curl mousse and then a blow dryer with a diffuser, and I'm gonna go set her up to get redressed. First things first, I ended up taking our future emo girl and brushing her hair from back here forward. So she has new bangs that are more like slanted. We're actually going to go in and we're going to cut these into layers, and then anything that's left over we'll set aside and use it. And this only works really if you're willing to reroot, but we're just going to put in a few plugs in the areas where it might be thin, so it's not that bad. So my supplies are a nice comb with wide set teeth so it doesn't pull her hair out. I got her hair wet with hot water. I almost said I wiped her hair wet, but yeah, that doesn't make sense. I got her hair wet with hot water and combed it down in the direction I want it to go. I've got some really nice sharp hair cutting scissors, and I have a little clip in case I need it to clip stuff out of the way. So what we're going to do first is, and with doll hair, I like to cut it similar to human hair in that I do it in layers. And I know not everybody does that, so that's a thing. If you have a stand, you can put her on it to hold her up so you can see better, but honestly, with you moving her hair around, it will probably just tip over. So just a forewarning about that. So I like to go in, I'm going to take the hair that's getting cut, like the section of bang, I'm going to flip it back over. Let's see, I'm not cutting this section, so it can come back down. And I'm going to gently comb it with the wide teeth end of my comb. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to, and you can honestly use like the smaller teeth for this. I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up maybe like the first row or two of hair, separate it from the rest of the hair. This is what we're going to work on first. It's going to be longer towards this outside, slightly shorter towards this inside, but here's the thing. It's easier to cut the hair shorter than it is to try and make it longer again. I mean, you can with rerooting, but like it's, you know, not magic. It's not gonna just glue on. So you take the scissors and we're going to cut at an angle. So you'll be cutting diagonally, with shorter towards the inside, longer towards the outside. And I know this isn't like the best angle, so forgive me. I really want to work on getting something to where I can angle things better. Now I am not cutting anything shorter than her upper lip, so I'm going to use my scissors. Let's see if I can. I'm going to use my scissors where her upper lip is and then cut downward at that angle. But I'm going to cut kind of choppy because you don't want it to be like super even. It's supposed to be kind of rock and roll cool. Alright, this hair, one of the nice things about being wet is it kind of stays together. We're going to set it aside for when we have to put it back in. Alright, now we're going to go back in with her hair, pull it back down, like the parts that we separated. And now we're going to take and comb it down again, see where it all kind of fits in. Alright, now for this second layer, we're basically doing the same thing we did with the first one, angled downward. It's actually really kind of hard to hold your scissors this way. Just want to get that out there. I can imagine for left-handed people, it's probably more obnoxious. I don't even know. Again, excess hair. I'm going to set it aside. Alright, we're going to stand her up. And remember, her hair is going to be fluffier and fuller when it dries. Some people may not even need to do that reroot. Some folks might. But we're going to keep the hair aside just in case you happen to be the folks that might. Like, I know for a fact that I am. So I go ahead and keep aside. Alright, so here is what we've got so far. Now that we've got it kind of short, we can go in and fix it up if you want it, like, if you know what I mean, like, what is the word? Adjust if you need it shorter. Like, I didn't want to cut it too short right away because if I needed to cut it shorter, then fine. But if I needed to cut it longer, well, that's kind of impossible. But we're just going to go in and adjust until we feel like everything is sitting just right. And then once we get it just right, we're going to go and do this other side and give it some layers. And again, same thing. You just kind of want to pick up a small chunk of the side and the front. And we're going to cut it at an angle, but opposite. Again, shorter towards the face and longer towards the edges. And again, like I kind of move my scissors up and down and around as I'm cutting. I don't want them like too even, if that makes sense. I kind of want it jagged and whatever, like, because I don't know, if you weren't into seeing emo hair, you probably don't get it. But it has to be really straight and kind of really jaggedy and really crazy, and that's what made it so much fun to do. But I mean, obviously not everybody's going to love this style. This is just for the folks who have always wanted a doll in this style, such as myself. All right. Now that I've done that, I'm going to, let me show you guys. So there she is. You can see how I've cut the hair. I'm going to take this next section over, cut it from where the longest hair ends, and keep cutting downward again at an angle, because we're going to get lots of jagged layers, and we're also going to do some in the back. So let's do those real quick. This video has taken me so long to make, you guys. You have no idea. This is like 3 weeks. Like, this is week 3 right now. Just because, like, work, doctor's appointment, kids. I was in the middle of making like several other videos at the same time. I'm also going to do, like, just in general, the top layers of the back of her hair. I'm just going to kind of cut random pieces, not even all of them. And again, always at an angle. All right, we're gonna call it done with cutting for now, just because I don't want to take too much off, and we still have to style it and see where it's kind of at with this, as well as you know, plugging in any gaps that we might need to plug in. So once we've figured out what is supposed to be where, we are gonna put some gel in the existing hair before we add more hair. That way it stays where it's put and we don't get it in the way of what we're trying to do later. Now, I bought my rerouting tool on, I think it was like eBay. It's just a very inexpensive one, and I'm not sure if I have needles for it right now, but I'm gonna go look just so I can try to finish this video today, because that'd be nice. But I have a lot of hair set aside, not this pile, but like nice formulated strips. Just because, you know, she's got this one spot in her bang that I might straighten because it likes to be a little weirdly poofed. But all of this is going to be kind of fluffed up and cooler looking when it's dry. Okay, you guys, it has taken me 3 weeks to just be able to continue this video. These dolls were not that hard to dye, but just finding the time to finish them up and get them dressed and all of that so I could finish this video to do the reveal part of it has been insane. I get 1 day off a week where I can make videos, and that only works if no one else is home, and so far almost every week somebody's been home sick, or I've had errands to run, or it's just been kind of crazy. So I wanted to start with the doll that was the easiest to create. And while I'm showing you Whitney, I also want to talk about some of the things that I've found out since I started making this video. The first one is that those markers that they come with, if it's left on their hair for more than a few hours, it actually will stain, like, permanently. So I think somebody else said that the paper inside, the one I didn't bother to read, said that if you leave it on more than 24 hours, but a few people have found that it actually takes less than that. And in some cases, even as little as 3 hours, it will stain the hair if you use the markers on them. So, I mean, it's great if you want a permanent design, not so great if you don't. Sorry, Sausage decided he needs to be in here to watch over me today, so you guys can see him in the background. along with some clothes I need to take for donation. Sussy. Hi, sir. Okay. He said he's not interested in being on camera today, Mom. Sorry. Okay, you guys, so Whitney was great, but here's the thing with her clothes. I actually wanted to do like rainbow colors up her pants leg, just like her hair. These clothes don't dye that well. The t-shirts barely dye. They come out a very muted color. The pants, even boiling, like barely took color. The clothes are actually really hard to dye. I think that if you're going to do it, you might want to get some of the RIT, I think it's like a color additive or whatever, that you basically boil them in the dye, don't rinse, and then you boil the color additive and you dip it, the clothing in that, and it's like a color stay thing that makes the colors stay as vibrant as they are. I would say to probably use that. I did buy some recently. I haven't really tried it out yet, but I've seen where other people have tried it and they say it works really well. So I would suggest that, but otherwise these clothes come out very muted. So this is actually the outfit that I thought was going to be too purple for her. When it dried, it's like the perfect shade of pale gray, just like her hair. There we go. And the pants also came out pale gray, but again, the rainbow colors are just really, really muted. I mean, you can see some yellow, you could barely see orange, and then there's some red at the cuff. Honestly, the orange just kind of looks like more yellow. Same with this, the green just kind of looks like more blue. So I might try that trick with the color additive, but otherwise, here are the colors in our hair. So we've got the red, and the orange came out really vibrant. See if I can see it from the side. Then I'm going to turn her. You can see the yellow. See, in this, you can actually kind of see the difference between the orange and the yellow. But in her pants, like, it just blends. Alright, then we've got the blue. Well, you can actually see the green. It's in here somewhere next to the yellow. There you go. So the green, the blue, and then the purple. I actually didn't, I meant to dip her again, actually. I messed up when I was parting her hair and thatching it, and some of the what should have been purple got on the red side, but the purple will dye right over this with no problems, and probably not even look any different. So I do have to touch that up. I haven't had time yet, but overall, that is Whitney. I don't know what you guys... You know, if you think, like, she, to me, came out exactly like the picture. She came out exactly like what I thought she would. I mean, she was very, very easy to dye. I was super excited about it. A++ for me. I don't know what you guys think, but I think she turned out really pretty. Alright, next up. Okay, you guys, so next up is Bianca. Bianca is the one we did tie-dye hair on. I mean, I love her. There are a few subtle changes that I do hope to make in the future. Right now, I just have her in a dyed Michelle dress. This dress also didn't take dye all that well. I might try again in the future with that dye additive. And she has a pair of dyed shoes. I don't normally like leaving the dyed shoes on them because I don't trust the dyed shoes not to stain their feet. So these are probably temporary. We'll see. I really didn't have time to find the outfit for her. I wish I had just dyed her like a little tie-dye shirt of the shirts they have. But I'm not sure how well it would have taken the dye anyway, since the shirts are the way they are. But I do think I'm going to make her at some point a tie-dye shirt. So here we go. Here is how her hair came out. I feel like the red all faded to pink, so you can't really see much of the red. But the greens, the yellows, oranges, I mean, everything's slightly more muted. But I think it's because I did like the spoon method versus the direct dip. But I don't mind it. I do think that I would add a little more red, a little more, I don't know, some of the other colors and make them more vibrant. But for now, like as far as tie-dye hair, I will say it was a success. I think she looks super cute. I really haven't messed with her curls. They need like some mousse or something in them. But I think it looks really cute on her. I'm happy with her. I mean, I'd say 8 out of 10. I definitely want to get some more of the other colors being more vibrant in her hair. But for now, I adore her. I'm perfectly happy with her. I think she's good for a while. All right, you guys, last up was the hardest one to do. Okay, you guys, this one was the hardest for like a billion reasons. I love Yuki, and I think she came out really cool, and I'm definitely going to fix some things in the future because I just kind of cobbled together a very quick outfit for her. I didn't really have time to put as much thought in it or pick out the pieces as much as I wanted to. So real quick, let's start with the hair because that's the focal point. So you can see I did the layers. I don't love cutting rainbow high hair. I don't love cutting any doll hair because if you mess up, it does not grow back. So I did the rainbow colors with the dye. I did actually have to do a little tiny bit of rerooting and plug in, some more pieces at the top in order to not have bald spots, but I dyed the back black with like a few long rainbow pieces in it, and then did all the short rainbow pieces in the front. I still wanted to do that one piece with like the like raccoon stripes, but it was really impossible to do with dye. I tried it and it didn't look good. I'm going to try the markers since they stain and become permanent. Like, I feel like those are kind of cool for the hair because you can do small designs and they will stay apparently. So that's kind of awesome. I really wanted to give her some more color with her earrings, but in the future, I think I'll give her like maybe some of the safety pin earrings from Shadow High. I'm not sure. The headband I love. It screams RAR means I love you in Dinosaur. If you're, you know, remembering those 2007 moments from AIM or whatever. Like some MySpace, AOL, I don't even know. But yeah, so I like the headband. That's the one part of her outfit I do like. This is the shirt dyed. It was supposed to be like a neon pink. It is not. At best, it is pale pink. I don't even know what happened. Like, these clothes did not take the dye. I did crop it. And she's got one of Kaya's shirts underneath. This bracelet came from like one of the Mermaids dolls. She's got her little like teddy bear purse. That is actually from one of the Pulip dolls. These pants are Barbie Extra. I do like the pants. The belt is Shadow High. I don't love the belt. I think I would really like want to make her one of those belts that we had back in the day with like the little square metal studs on it. So I do think she needs a new belt, definitely a new shirt. I like the undershirt, but I feel like the overshirt is just lacking. I'd also like to give her a spiked collar. I do have some from like my OMG dolls, but honestly, I just wanted to get this video made and I couldn't find one right away and I got frustrated and was like, I'll just do it later. So she is going to get like a studded collar, a better overshirt, a cooler belt. The leg warmers are so mid for me right now, honestly. I wanted her to have fluffy leg warmers, but I'm going to make her some that come up higher and that are rainbow because I feel like these are okay. They're all I had on hand. They're from the OMG Bad Girl. They're alright, but they're just really mid. She needs something cuter. Same with the shoes. I don't know what shoes I want her to have. Maybe like the cute black and rainbow sneakers. But these will do for now. And I feel like that's all I can say about her is she's alright for now. So yeah, raccoon stripes in the hair, better jewelry, better overtop, better leg warmers, better shoes. For me right now, she's like a 3 out of 10 because I like her headband and I like her pants and I like her precious little face. And I do like her hair. Yes, it was a pain to dye. Yes, it was a pain to cut. Yes, it was a pain to reroot so that she wouldn't have any bald spots. So you can kind of see all the colors in there. I layered the back as well. Styling the hair was kind of a pain because let me tell you, I did the whole like emo scene hair, not like as big as some people did, obviously, but I did this back in my like 2007, 2008, whatever era, and it is a lot different styling it on a human than styling it on a doll. I really couldn't get the teasing going the way I wanted it to go to make her hair like fluffier and bigger. But I love her anyway. So there you guys go. There are Whitney, Bianca, and Yuki. I would love to know what you think. Who are your favorites? What would you have done differently? Have you bought them yet? Have you dyed them yet? Did you use the markers? Everything. I have so many questions for you guys. So that about wraps it up. Okay, you guys. So, wow, that was an experiment. I definitely want to know you guys' thoughts and feelings on it. Did you think it would work? Did you think it wouldn't work? Were you happy with the process? Is it something that you'd want to try out yourself? Who was your favorite out of the three? Was it the purple-eyed girl with the curly hair, the green-eyed girl with the straight pigtails, or the blue-eyed girl with the classic rainbow high soft curls or soft waves? Who do you think turned out the best? What would you have done different? What would you like to see in the future? Would you like me to dye some more of these color and create girls? Are you going to use your markers on them? Or are you going to go straight to dyeing? Like, I'm very, very curious. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The next one probably, I don't know. I have some junior highs I need to dye, and then also there will be another one of those Alibaba, what is it called? AliExpress. Sorry you guys. There will be another one of those AliExpress haul videos coming up. My brain just glitches up sometimes. I don't even know. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you're going to try. I'm definitely curious, and I will see you guys next video.